I was in the world of writing software, being an engineer, and he was in the world of picking stocks. And I just had never been attracted to that for myself. And yet, as soon as he was asking me about IBM or Hewlett-Packard and how they priced their product and how things were changing and what the nature of the competition was, what I would do if I got to run those companies, I could see that his investing was just an outcome from having this incredible model of business and business value. And so, I got to ask him lots of questions, and our first meeting turned into a day-long discussion. And I was, you could say, smitten by the opportunity to talk with Warren about all these topics. Warren, when I first met him, didn't use a computer whatsoever. However, within 3 years of my meeting him, by 1994, he was starting to do online bridge. And in fact, his online bridge was so extensive that he'd spend over 20 hours a week, but just doing that one thing for quite a while. Today, he's, quite avid at browsing in his home, where he'll look up currency prices or trading numbers or various articles. So he's a pretty adept browser, but it was bridge that got him to get familiar with the keyboard and get to be reasonably capable. You have an incredible person doing everything that needs to be done, but it's kind of inverted where Warren is picking the business for its dynamics, buying often 100% of it. And there's actually more value in the fully owned businesses now than in the investment portfolio. And because he's picked the manager who's dedicated to the details, the specifics of that business, he gets a world-class operator. He's simply taking whatever excess capital comes out and redeploying it in a business that can grow its opportunities because of that. So the dialogue between Warren and the manager is, is the manager still excited about his job, still dedicated to it. So rarely there'll have to be a succession. And then the capital issue. Does that person want more capital than they've made because they have opportunities, or are they generating capital? And then Warren takes and spreads that around the different things inside the company. So Warren does what Warren is incredibly good at, including picking that person, but it doesn't include knowing the pricing of the jewelry or should there be a new box of candy brought out or anything like that. It's always amazing. You can describe a business to Warren in 10 or 15 minutes and he'll know what the key things to ask and look for are. He doesn't need massive briefing on something. In fact, one time when we took Warren to visit Microsoft, he was here for the weekend, and I thought, geez, we should show him around. He'd be interested to see it. So after we'd spent about a half day doing it, he says, now I've toured Microsoft more than any business that I own. Because on-site tours are not part of how he does his analysis. I've learned so much from Warren, I can no longer tell exactly which things I'm just following the master versus showing a little bit of initiative on my own. But even beyond any sort of investing thing, just the idea of keeping your schedule simple, trying to spend your time on the things that you're good at, that you enjoy doing. There's a philosophy of life of embracing people, having fun at what you do, doing it with some humor, that I'll always strive to do those things nearly as well as Warren does. Well, Warren doesn't like extraneous things, either on his schedule or to own, and so he's in the same house he's had since the 1950s. It's a reasonable house by Nebraska standards, but you go up to the top floor. He's got the train set that he played with when he was young. It's there. He's got a lot of books that he's read, but there's nothing fancy about it. It's just a nice house in a Omaha neighborhood. Well, Warren and I had been talking about giving money away for a long time, and at one event where he had some friends together, I talked about the early work of the Gates Foundation and this global health and the amazing fact that for a few $1,000s you can save a life, and that there's great progress being made, and how the pieces need to be pulled together a little more energetically. So it was fun for him to see how engaged I was, that it was the same type of engagement that I had in my Microsoft work. At that time, his wife Susie was living, and she was going to get the responsibility for deciding how to give the money back. And so it was actually a tragic thing that she died younger than Warren. And then fairly quickly after that, he mentioned that he was considering some of the wealth coming to the foundation my wife and I had. That was a complete surprise to me. And, I said, wow. The first time he said it, I thought, well, that's at least being nice. He's saying that it would be rational to do that. He's not really saying he's going to do it. But the second time he brought it up, I knew he was considering it seriously, because Warren doesn't joke around. It was something on his mind. And then soon after that, he did decide, split the money between a number of foundations, but with a substantial portion coming to our foundation. In fact, doubling the resources in our foundation, allowing us to be far more aggressive with new vaccines and new seeds for farmers. And so I felt an incredible sense of responsibility. It was this incredible thing, and it matched up a little bit before I was becoming full-time at the foundation, and so it would make that full-time work even more impactful. So, it was just incredible. I'll never be able to thank him enough for what he's done. I've been meeting with some people who are rich and asking them how they think about these things, and what kind of giving has been exciting for them. And I'd love it, and I know Warren would love it, if in sharing our enthusiasm for giving and really praising these people who are doing it, that we could kind of make it even more of a norm, get more people involved. Not taking any credit for what others would do at all, but simply share best ideas and, have people immediately, when they get large portions, starting to think of what their unique kind of philanthropy might look like. Warren has done so much more for me in terms of advice on, helping me learn things than I've ever done for him. So now I have this one thing, which is helping on the Berkshire board for as long as I'm around, that if I'm wanted, I will do that. It's not that he asked me, to stay forever, but I will view that as my top business priority. He's a unique leader. I can't think of anyone close. I'm sure there have been great CEOs who understood their particular company and built something phenomenal. But in terms of breadth and thoughts about business itself and how it helps society, how it should be done, Warren is singular in my view. No one will be as good as Warren Buffett. No company can expect that. But this is an unbelievable franchise. Its economic value will continue to go up. Warren calls it his painting. And he's done it in a way that it's based on principles that will endure. And so it'll be a great company. Certainly Warren is owed that. And, I feel with the way he's got them set up and the people will help out, that's going to be achieved.